Let's go, let's go, let's go. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties, but we
Technical
back like
difficulties, but
on a good day. You already know what it is. Energy Radio. It's your girl Sugar Cosby in
and
the
your boy
building.
with Mike.
Right, and my boy Mike from On the Mic with Mike. We are in here for tea time with Sugar. We made it back just like that. Okay? Sorry for the mishap, but we're going to continue the conversation. We were talking about COVID cases
Yes.
in the U.S. And we had a caller. Caller, if you're still out there, just call in. So we want to know your opinion on the COVID cases. We want to know your opinion on how you think the president is treating it. Basically, the president is still going to continue his state-to-state campaign, regardless of the recent surge in COVID-19 cases. Some people are looking at this like, are you serious, Mr. President? Like, you already gave us a bad warning. The
Yeah.
warning that he gave us was horrible. He
Yeah.
told us that we can just basically put a rag over our face.
But he knew about it way before
He
he got
did.
his
Okay,
back.
we got a caller. Caller. Caller in.
On Wednesday, okay?
Thank you for calling Energy Radio.
Hello?
Thank you for calling for Energy Radio. It's your girl Sugar Cosby, my boy on the mic with Mike. Who are we speaking with?
Hello? Come on. Hi, how you doing?
We're doing great. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, what's up? Are you calling about the
Okay.
topic today? COVID-19?
Yes, I am. I wanted to talk about the COVID-19 because I work in the healthcare profession. That's the first thing. And I have a bunch of people in my life that feel like getting tested for COVID is a bad thing. Like, folks need to know that people are dying. And to get tested because you're around people doesn't mean that you're conforming to whatever the government wants you to do. It means that they're trying to keep people around you safe.
Right. I think a lot of people are more so detesting getting tested for antibodies and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, I could understand people not wanting to get tested. It's really important that they do because it's important to know that if you have it, because you could be, look, asymptomatic, where you don't get any symptoms at all, and you'll wind up spreading it to your loved ones and harming or even killing someone you really love by mistake just because of your ignorance. So it's really
Exactly.
it's really important for people to get tested. Now, if you don't show, if you've been social distancing properly and you're not showing any signs and symptoms, and the people around you are not showing any signs and symptoms, then there's really no need for you to run out and get tested because technically that's like wasting medical supplies.
But you can't see a symptom though.
What do you mean?
And that's called being asymptomatic.
That's what I'm saying.
But the thing about it is I feel like this: if you work around public, in the public, and you work around people, and you have children in the house,
Absolutely.
then you should go get tested.
Absolutely.
Right.
You should go
Absolutely.
get tested. It doesn't matter whether or not you have a cough or you have a cold or whatever. Take the button, go get tested to protect the other people that you're around. That's just like saying that, okay, I had sex with somebody that has HIV, but I don't show any signs of having HIV, so I'm not going to go get tested.
It is.
So you would just rather everybody just go get tested, so you'd rather just them either know they have it or know that they don't have it, as opposed to just could possibly walking around having it and spreading it.
But there's a lot of people that know that they test
Exactly.
positive for these diseases, including COVID-19, and they're still walking around not social distancing, going to parties, drinking with friends.
Exactly.
Well, they're ignorant. They're
They're
ignorant.
But
ignorant.
you have people walking around that work. When I'm saying work, like if you work in a grocery store, or you drive
Right.
a bus, or you work around where there's multiple people, there's people going
In
in and
traffic,
out,
right.
you're around people all the time. Take your behind and get tested.
Right. You should do that shit often. Excuse my language. You should do that often because it's really important because you're gonna be around people and you could infect more people than the people that have infected you.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
That's a good point. Thank you very much for bringing that up, and especially given now that we're at
We're seeing a surge.
yeah, we're seeing a surge. 8.6 million people have been infected. And let me tell you about those statistics too. 8.6 million people have been infected, but only, and this is what the president has said, and this is how a lot of people are looking at it, only 225,000 people died from deaths of COVID-19 this year. How can you say only? You know, and
exactly.
I understand to a lot of people it's like this number to this number, but dang.
Because most of the people that are passing away from this disease are the elderly, are those with underlying diseases.
Right.
That's true too. That's true too.
What you're doing is, to me, it feels like it's a thinning of the herd, really. But I have watched people die from this disease. And it's not happy to see somebody drowning in their own fluid. It's not happy to see somebody gasping for air and die from because they're suffocating. That's crazy.
Yeah,
wow.
That's crazy.
So you've been watching this from the beginning. Do you see
I've been in it from the beginning.
Do you feel like it's been more cases coming to you, or has it eased a little bit?
Well, being that I work with the elderly. So, for me, we do our best to protect them. But when it happens, when it enters the facility and it affects all of them.
Word. Yeah, because in the beginning of this pandemic, I remember them saying that a lot of the elderly died by themselves.
It's the beginning of the pandemic, and it's happening now.
It's still happening
now. There's a surge going on.
Yeah.
Wow. And we were expecting this. This was already, they said that this would happen.
It's called the flu season. So people are getting respiratory disease, and people with respiratory disease are getting sick. So you've got to protect yourself. Right. I'm an asthmatic, and I had an asthma attack, and you know the first thing they did for me? They test me.
Wow.
To make sure that I don't have COVID.
Right. And you know they take a precaution now.
She had to go get tested to make sure she don't got COVID.
Right. But that's responsible. That's the way you're supposed to do it.
And I get tested frequently because of where I work at. It's just that it's baffling to me to know people that have respiratory disease and are around people that have respiratory disease, but yet still work in the public. But because they're asymptomatic, they don't show any signs, they don't have a fever, a cough, or anything, they're not willing to go get tested, saying that, oh, I'm not going to get tested because I'm not conforming to the government.
Well,
it's a government conspiracy to do this and that. The other thing is a government conspiracy against our race and this and that. And no, it's not.
And this is the thing too. How can people call it a conspiracy when over 225,000 people have died?
Right.
When the man who is the president of our country, who has supposedly had the coronavirus, sit here and be like, oh, well, see, I got it, I'll recover from it. It's not really that bad.
Don't get me started on 45, because
right, because his recklessness could have killed a good fraction of those people.
I don't believe he really had it either, because he recovered way too fast. He recovered way too fast.
It was. He was just doing that because he flunked the freaking first debate.
What he had was, I don't want to debate no more. That's what he had.
I don't want to. And then, you know, he probably just did that to try to get more votes.
Right. Probably. And his supporters ate that up.
Oh, they loved it. Anything that he does.
They already out here running around with no mask on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you scared? You damn right, I'm scared. Excuse my expression, but yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared. I like to. Hello. It ain't the best life, but it's my life. And I like it.
Right.
Absolutely. It's I don't know. It's like you said, it's baffling to me that 225,000 people have died and people are still out here refusing to wear a mask, talking about, oh, we don't have no problem, or it just affects certain people and whatnot.
Right. In the conspiracy, listen, I'm gonna make this public for all you conspiracy theorists.
There you go.
Okay? Do your research. Do your research before you start making because a lot of the Trump supporters was out marching before all of this.
Right.
They were like, I don't want to wear my mask.
Right.
Do your research as to why you don't want to wear your mask.
Well,
Do your research as to why you feel like you don't want to get vaccinated or you don't want to get tested. Like those are personal issues or personal problems.
These
but
are.
this is not like something that is a sexually transmitted disease. Something that you literally are consenting to have.
Relations with another
With
person.
relations where you know that this can pass on to you. This is not that. This is, I can be walking around and I can give it to everybody that walks past me by walking past somebody that can give it to me that I can't detect because I can't get sick. But forget this child, forget this lady, forget this man, forget this old guy, forget this old woman. You know what I'm saying? Forget this woman.
Forget everybody.
Yeah, just forget everybody. That's what basically you're saying when you do
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
It's very irresponsible and
Very.
it's very selfish.
Very, but you know, a lot of people, especially like in 45's campaign, he might have tested positive too, but a lot of other Republicans are testing positive for the coronavirus.
They are, but are they still?
People
out
of Mike Pence's campaign, I read a report today that some of them tested positive for the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And ain't none of them better yet.
No, they none of them better yet. But now we got this guy saying that not only did he test positive, 2 days later he is immune to this disease. Now,
And he went out and drove in to supporters that were standing outside of the hospital.
Now, don't get me wrong. I understand you being asymmetric and you having the antibodies to fight off the disease without having any kind of symptoms. But you are in the medical field. If you're immune to something, can you still test positive for it? If you're completely immune to it,
Yes.
you can still test
Yes,
positive,
yes.
even though your body is immune to
Yes.
it. Okay.
Okay.
Because I was under the impression you can't.
If you are exposed to a number of diseases, like when you go get tested for chicken pox or anything that you've been immunized for, you need to get a record stating that you were vaccinated. But you don't have that record. You know what they do? They draw blood and they look for the antibodies in your bloodstream.
Okay.
This is the same thing that happens when you catch a disease that you cannot catch a second time.
And you can catch coronavirus a second time,
You
right?
can catch coronavirus
Yes,
another
you
time.
can. There
Absolutely.
have been people that have tested positive more than once.
Wow. You see?
It's not a conspiracy.
For him to just
It's
walk
not.
in and out of a hospital and say I'm immune and they have all of this advanced technology and this cure that he can just take and now he doesn't have it and in fact he's immune. It doesn't make any sense. It's not adding up. If you're immune, then shouldn't you have what it takes to find a vaccine or something? I don't know. Please.
I don't know anybody who
Spare
don't want to
me
take
this.
his blood anyway.
But see, you know what it is? They're not listening to the scientists.
Exactly.
And to scientists that are trying to fight this disease, this virus. They're listening to someone with no medical background. Hell, you don't even have political background.
Exactly.
Right.
They're listening to the idiot.
But he got a racist background though.
We got a lot of background. I thought for sure when you had a record you couldn't become president, but they fooled me.
Well, look, we'll see what happens. We'll see what
I mean,
happens
for real.
after the election. If he does not get reelected, which I personally think he will get reelected, unfortunately. But if he doesn't get reelected, well, we just have to wait and see what happens on November the 3rd. And I have an announcement to make. I got an announcement to make right here on Sugar Tea Time with Sugar Show. I've been when we were talking about Black Sheep Sugar, okay, you was telling me that you have voted because, you know, of what our ancestors went through and trying to get our vote and whatnot. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and vote.
That's what's up.
I think I'm gonna
up.
vote.
I appreciate that.
But it's not. But let me say this real quick, because I never said that our vote doesn't count or was devalued. It's just that I was under the impression of, honestly, and it's just my opinion, you have Donald Trump, who we know, excuse my language, is a piece of shit. And then we have Joe Biden, who we know has a racist background. So, I mean, I personally just think, like, you have two bowls of crap, a red and a blue, and which crap tastes worse or the less worse? That's how I was looking at this election. I know that Joe...
But you gotta think about it. You gotta think about this. Okay, when you did something wrong, and then you make amends for it. You try to fix what you've done wrong. You try to fix what you've said wrong. But that's just like this thing about the felonies and second chances.
Yes.
If you've done something wrong, and then you try to make good on it, you try to do what's right afterwards, you're still going to hold that against a person because they did or said something wrong? What do you think, yes, in 94 and 93 was wrong? What he said was wrong.
Right.
Okay.
But,
hold on. Wait a minute. Hold up. No.
To make up for it.
Carla, let me say something, okay? We're not just talking about anybody and everybody. We are talking about the President of the United States of America.
Right.
Yes, the President, someone who qualifies to be President of the United States of America should be held accountable for everything that they've done in the past and everything that they're doing currently. Yes, we should hold our President at a higher standard, you know?
Well,
we don't. And if we did, we would vote better people into Congress.
But if you were to tell me in 2015, that in 1 year, this president, this country will elect a man like Donald Trump. If you would have told me in 2015, that next year this country would elect a man like Donald Trump as president, I would have called you a liar. I would have laughed at you dead in your face.
Okay, and you know why? Because you would have thought that this country holds our standards a little bit higher than having Donald Trump as the president.
Well, you got to remember, this is coming off of a country that elected half a black man, partial biracial man, but he was half black, as president of the United States. We're coming off of that, which was, I think, a high for our country because there was a man that could talk, that could articulate himself, and he didn't get a lot done, but the things that he did get done, he had to push through to get done.
Factual.
All right, so you're coming from that to a guy who called for 5 minority teenagers to be killed in 1980s or the late 89s for the Central Park 5 thing.
Right.
He called for them kids, them teenagers, to get the death penalty without any evidence that they committed that crime.
Right. So I want to ask you, caller, on the phone. Do you think that is excusable? Like, he should just not be held accountable? He is the president of the United States now, and this is my problem with a lot of people that vote. A lot of people like to be like, oh, willy-nilly, I'm going to forgive him for his past, especially with Biden. You know, Biden has a really terrible past, especially with his words with black people. You know what I'm saying? He ain't always been this nice guy that's down for the people. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, come on.
And I think that we need to hold our politicians, you know, accountable for their past. You shouldn't hold a stripper accountable for her past if she turns out to be a doctor or nurse. You know what I'm saying? She's doing the right thing now. But these people have malicious intent in the beginning of their career. They have not done anything for any of our communities since the beginning of both of their career, all of their career. The vice president, the president, and the running up vice president and president. What really have they done for us in their past to put us in a position to where we will listen to them about what they're going to do for us in their future? Because they only come and they only campaign and they only talk about what they really want to do as far as us are concerned when it's time for the elections. And we need to start taking that into consideration and holding these people accountable for their past. I want to see what you've done for our people besides you telling us when you're ready to become president.
Well, let me tell you something, being that you just said that.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Okay, and I agree with that completely. But on that note, we can't sit back and expect the government is going to fix everything either. As a community, we need to stand up and take some responsibility and change that thing within ourselves.
Right, absolutely.
Yes, we need to make changes in the government. The government needs to change. But we, as a people, need to stand up and take back our community and teach them and bring it together.
Okay.
Pull these young kids up, pull these young men up, pull these young girls up, and teach them.
Each one
them,
teach
give
one.
them something to be proud of. Give them something to look forward to. Because a lot of these kids that are in the hood and in the city, they don't see anything to be proud of. They don't see anything to look forward to. They don't see anything that I'm going to be stuck here for the rest of my life and not where it has to end. We have to give our children something to be proud of and something to look up to.
And being that you,
Give them something to have pride in. And then we have to start within our own community. We can't look for the government to fix us.
Okay.
We have to fix us.
Okay. Listen, I appreciate you calling the show. Listen, I think that you will love the show that's coming up next at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. From 7 to 8 p.m. we have Black Sheep, which also airs on Fire Stick and Roku devices under DH1 TV Network. You should chime into that because I think that you'll be really interested in the topics that in the conversations that we hold tonight. We have a few special guests, and it's going to be crazy. It's going to be very interesting to see, the things that unfold tonight. And
I will be right there.
Okay, and maybe you can chime into that. But you already know Tea Time for Sugar is Monday through Thursday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. That is Monday through Thursday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. right here on Energy Radio. You can tune in on Facebook, Periscope, LinkedIn, Crazy Sweet Entertainment on YouTube. We everywhere. Check out the videos. Make sure you drop a comment, share the videos, show support. You know what I'm saying? We always appreciate that. And look, we're looking to support people too. So if you're interested in doing some marketing and advertising with Energy Radio or DH1 TV Network, you can hit me up at Sugar_Cosby on all social media platforms.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you so much for tuning in.
You too. Have a nice night.
You too.
Now hold up, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
Real quick. All right. Being that you had just said what you said about we have to have more people in power that do stuff in our community. That goes back to us giving people power anyway because we give them a vote.
Right.
We need to do research on people and make sure that we are voting for the right
hold people accountable. When we try to be nice, and let me tell you something, as mean as these politicians are, as mean as these law officers are, as mean as these COs are, as mean as these people that are in position to help other people are, as mean as they are, we should hold them to a higher standard. Because I've been in situations where I've been poverty stricken, and I've been in situations where I had to depend on social services for help and the government assistance. Now we're all dealing with this situation where our government, it seems like they're kind of against us. They don't seem like they with us the way that they're supposed to be. And I think that it all has to do with us holding these people accountable. They decided that they wanted a job governing people. Google what governing means. Okay, they chose this position. They chose to take care of the people that they said that they took an oath to. You know, that they would serve and protect us. All of them. Not only the police took oaths. All of these government officials took oaths.
All of them.
You know, and they're supposed to care about their people, and that's the American people. And sometimes it feels like that they don't care about that. They're more egotistic and freaking, what's it called, narcissistic. You know what I'm saying? It seems like that their battles is within, I don't like this person, so I'm not going to listen to this person, and I don't like this person, so I'm not even going to approve this bill, even though all of y'all anger and y'all pettiness has everything that is affecting these people. We have people being kicked out of their homes as we speak, under foreclosure like a mother right now. You know what I'm saying? We have people not able to feed their families right now. We have people that are without lights right now. We have people that are going through really hard times because of this pandemic, because the breadwinner in their family is deceased, you know,
or people
sick.
waiting for this next stimulus bill that's not possibly going to come until maybe after the election.
And you know, if Trump get hired and if it's approved immediately, it was all that was all just so that they can keep our attention and keep keep dangling the money over our heads. And let me tell you something. I don't know why a lot of people need that money. You know what I'm saying? $1,200 and then whatever per child. So a lot of families need that money, and I don't want to take away from it, but it's not a lot of money. So they're dangling the change over your head so that after the election and you give them what they want, here, they're going to throw the change at you with pennies, nickels, and dimes and quarters. You know what I'm saying? Just to rub it in your face. Like, I helped you, here you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, you guys could have did this the whole freaking time. I think that the government officials need to be held accountable for their past. We need to really dig into these people, know who they are, because we're putting them in charge of our livelihoods, people. We are. And it is important to understand politics. It is important to get into politics. If you're not into politics, you need to find out, especially if you're in the hood. A lot of hood boogers all be talking shit, but none of y'all was out there with the freaking Black Lives Matter movement when it first happened. I didn't see a lot of y'all out there, you know. But now y'all talking junk and y'all want to post videos about the police brutality that's going on in the neighborhood. That been going on. Where was y'all to march on it? When was y'all out there to say, no, we tired of this and we getting fed up? Where was you to make them numbers triple? Y'all was in the house.
They was the same ones that's infecting the neighborhood.
Not
with
caring
the
about
shit
nothing
that we
until
don't
it happened to
need,
you.
man.
That's wrong. Y'all need to
People
step
are
up.
not gonna realize
Get up
that.
out of that. Get up out of that mind state. We gotta each one teach one, right? But we all gotta stick together when shit get rough. When shit get tough, we all gotta stand up for each other. All of us. If you in the hood, all the hood boogers need to stand up for the hood boogers. If you in the freaking suburbia, you need to stand up for everybody, because you already know shit not fair. You know what I'm saying? And then as far as Offset getting arrested, I can't go into detail because the show is almost over. But as far as Offset being, I heard he didn't get arrested, but they did take him, they did handcuff him and everything else because somebody flashed a gun after his car was being vandalized by some Trump protesters that was out there. Our demonstrators, yeah.
Well, wait,
I
didn't hear nothing about that.
That's a whole nother story. We're gonna have to talk about that later, honey, because you already know. Is that
Black Sheep worthy then?
I don't know, but Tea Time with Sugar is now over. But I will be back tomorrow from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. right here on Energy Radio. So stay tuned and stay live, y'all. You already know what it is.
Be safe. Blessings.
Tea Time.